Welcome back to Threshold of Revelation. This is session 34 entitled Shifting Seasons. Last session, the group entered into the library segment of Amblavote and were once again driven off from that location, this time by a new threat that they had yet to see. A creature made entirely out of a spell book or spell books that summoned things and just it was bad. It was not a good start, and then they also had caused some of the inklings to come towards them as well. When they made it back up to the surface, they finally got in contact with the wandering wizard whose spellbook they managed to get a hold of, an individual known as Alazar Velodius, who they have come to understand is in some way associated with the conglomerate, but not only the conglomerate, specifically the Dance Eternal segment of the conglomerate that is currently instigating efforts to free Lavidia from its current conflict, civil war, strife, and also conflict with the Denisovans. They've met up with him, talked with him. He has stated that he is taking the second lodestar that they found in his bag. They can keep whatever else they found there. He's not concerned about it. And he will also be taking Rolling Rock, who is one of a number of dwarves who helped in the generation of the lodestar. Um, there being a second one definitely is confusing, but as he and you, your group, head to meet with an individual he has stated is a part of another group of operators that will be joining you in replacement for Rolling Rock. He asks to see your lodestar, which Rolling Rock hands over to him. He then performs some sort of magic upon it and then hands it back to Bodhi, since Bodhi, to Alazar at this point, has acted as the leader of your group. Upon taking it, you look over to the rest of your group and realize that everyone who's been manifested by this lodestar now seems to have this strange aura about them, a health sight. And Alazar explains it to you thusly. It's strange that you weren't given this. This was one of the very first rune marks that was placed on a lodestar by Dekelis. Strange that he didn't find it necessary to place it upon yours. This will allow you to see the health and well-being of your associates, as long as they are within sight. And out of character, what that means for you in-game is you should be able to see the health bar over top of your allies, and in being able to see that, you'll know how healthy they are in their kind of spectrum. Um, he leads you
No more tongue in cheek.
no more bloody.
On a scale of 1 to 56.
You folks have been working together for a long enough time that I feel that you should kind of, and there's obviously magical reasons why you should be able to
Sure.
understand this by nature. But he leads you to the north side of town, just a ways from Fourth Side's establishment, which is here, and leads you to this place where inside you meet with a young brown-haired boy who has currently been playing host to Alazar's associate. Inside of this space, it is very much like a barn, but it is used to house two hippogriffs. Um, if those of you, I think everybody's familiar with what a hippogriff is, right? Good. Okay. So there's two of them in this location, and the person who you have had as host here for a little while, Joseph is your character I'm talking about. He is a young lad who goes by the name of. Oh my god, I said his name. It's Griff. His name's Griff. He's got hippogriffs. Makes sense. But
Not Griffins.
not Griffiths. I got confused.
That
with
was
the
a
name.
tricky one.
Right. See, I
That would fuck this up.
I did it to myself. Is what I did. But the doors open, and Alazar and a group of people you do not know enter in. Since you are a new player, and I'm assuming you haven't watched all the episodes, what I'm going to do is to give you some time to acclimate. I'm going to have them each describe their character in turn while posting pictures of them, and then you'll have a chance to describe your character, how they look now, and just how they're kind of catching you in the scene. So we'll start with Andy, since you're first on the list for me here. Go ahead
Yeah.
and tell us about Nyx.
Nyx is a very dapperly dressed small dromite, which is a sort of bug creature. He has some musical instruments strapped to his back, and he has a rapier. Um, he tells the most awesome puns ever, um, and he looks forward to interacting with the new party member.
The reason why you know that they tell puns is because there's a pun book strapped to their belt.
Which he's always taking out and scribbling in. And he sort of looks over to uh, one of the party members and said, "Hippogriff? I don't see any hippopotamus griffin creatures. Where the heck are they?"
You tried, and that's really what's important. So the next person you would notice.
That wasn't the pun. That was just a warm up.
the
Give me a
next
chance.
Did you want us to like yes and that?
No, 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 no,
Was
no,
there
no.
a setup we
That
were
was
missing?
just no, 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 no. That wasn't the actual pun. You'll see.
Perfection. So the
Got it,
next
got it.
person you would notice is Brett's character. Go ahead and describe your character for us, Brett.
Ezekiel is essentially just a giant white husky. He's about 7 foot tall. He's carrying around one sword at the moment and two shields. One's adamantite on his back. The other one is the one I got last session. It's like magic. I don't remember the design of it off the top of my head. He he's like a little bit battle worn, but like just looks like he's always ready to be the tank. That's like his only thing he thinks about is being the tank and being a good boy. Like his tail's wagging at meeting someone new right now.
And he also proudly presents the conglomerate seal, which is the two serpents kind of coiled in sea-like patterns on his chest there. And moving on to the next, Zach, you are up.
Bodhi is a short-statured satyr. You'd recognize immediately he has very tired eyes and incredible scarring across all of his body. He's just had it rough. Bad time. Lately he has been wearing a very fine conglomerate robe. Occasionally he'll flip it inside out if he's not sure how well the conglomerate is to be received. But yeah, that's Bodhi. That's our
And
guy.
Bodhi, based on just look and description, would mark you as one of the first. So it's not something that's been mentioned in our side conversation, but it was kind of discussed in the notifications. You're kind of aware of the past of your cell. Like, there are people who came before you, and these are the people that came after you. But there are people who have had immortality tricks placed upon them, and Bodhi was one of the first, is what they're known as.
Just lucky, I guess.
All right, next up is Jeremy.
Either is a half giant or Goliath. He's pretty badly scarred across the arms, chest, looks like on his head too. He's mostly just a sad boy right now.
Yep.
Looks pretty light of step, very thin compared to any hill folk you would have run into before on Mountain Born.
I love the background music.
Holy shit, dude.
No, she just turned it down. It was twice that loud a minute ago. I could
Oh
hear it
my God.
over my own headset.
That's hilarious. And if you'd like to, Joseph, make your first roll here in Roll20, I'd like you to go ahead and make a history check, and that would be done just by clicking the name history in the skills list. And for those new to Roll20, Joseph is, so there will be a lot of working through it. We love it. It's fun. It's okay.
It'll be just to the right of your
Yeah,
scores.
There should be, if you go to the, let me see where you're at. Hold on. I can actually follow along.
Straight down from where it says inspiration or your name. Just straight down from there. There's a whole list of skills. Find the word history, either alphabetical.
Might be on the wrong page. Hold on.
Core.
Yeah, core, and then on the left side you'll see the strength, dex, con, and then just to the right of that you'll see the strength, dex, con again, but right below that you'll see a list of words: acrobatics, animal handling, etc. Scroll down to history, click the word history, and it should roll it.
Suspense is killing me.
I know, right?
Enjoy some music
Did
to,
you
for
just
levity.
did you just click the talk button just so we had a background waiting music? Oh man, gain inspiration for that, Jeremy.
Holy smokes.
Joseph have inspiration.
There he is.
Yeah, you start with inspiration for Jeremy's good joke. I offer inspiration at jokes that get my goat or things that I like. So it's not as formal as this joke.
You got inspiration last
No
time.
respect, not for you.
Don't start, Andy. Okay, because if I was gonna grant inspiration for terrible puns to somebody, it'd be Elizabeth every time. And
She's not in this game.
I'm just saying, okay. Like I don't.
Okay.
I'm trying to treat people fairly and balanced. To please.
Okay.
Not award for crappy puns. 23 history will tell you that as a Goliath, based on the markers that he has, that would be.
I think it was rolled to GM.
Oh, cool. Note. Good note. I will dissuade some of that.
Fix it as you can.
Perfect.
So how do I make sure that it doesn't do that?
I already fixed
I
it.
think he just fixed it.
It's okay. It'll never happen again. But what you will know about Uther based on the tattoo markings and also the scarring. The tattoo markings mark him as someone from the Westerlands of Levidia, one of the Goliath tribes out to the west. You're not exactly sure which one with the 23, but you know that it's local, just more kind of to the western side of the map. And then the scarification tells you that he is an exile from Goliath, like traditional society. Just because the scarification is very ritualistic, it's not just happen chance. Okay, perfect. Moving on to Chody. Chody, tell us about Silas.
I am a large lizard folk barbarian. I have a large cast iron skillet that I carry around. I currently have a bit of a nub for a tail. It's only about halfway down. But other than that, carry around. Yeah. A lot of weapons carrying around on them, but also a lot of cooking supplies as well.
Yep. And I think that is it for everyone, right? Did I miss anybody? Okay. So then, last but not least, Joseph, describe the character that they are meeting here.
All right, so I'm Sanat. My character is Sanat. Have currently in the season of autumn. So like the they are an Eladrin. Yeah, did I say that right? My got it backwards earlier. So Eladrin, and they, like I said, currently in the season of autumn. So you can tell based off of the hair and stuff. Currently, I don't think I have weapons, but I'm not currently holding any. And yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say there.
Oh, no problem. So, definitely very much kind of sings to the group because of your conglomerate primer that this individual is a wizard. They have a book.
You probably should have said that part.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
They
Also,
have
a
a
wizard.
reporter staff. They have an implement. They have spell compounded pouch. So
And we still can't tell because none of us can
No.
even read.
No, because somebody taught you. Somebody trained you at the beginning of this campaign in their primer. They said
This is what a
"You
wizard
need
looks like."
to know this stuff, and this is one of the things that you need to know. For Bodhi, specifically, you would know that they are an Eladrin. And Eladrins, for you, just so we kind of understand Fae hierarchies, is very important. And I will state, and this is something that's also kind of leaning towards someone in the audience, but I just want to make sure you understand, Joseph. Elvish society, for me as a DM, is kept very just opaque. I don't like forcing people who play elves to have rules for the way that they play elves, Eladrins included. So you are very much of a mind to do whatever you want. If you want my opinions on stuff, feel free to ask, but I'm going to be horribly contradictory at times, and I may seem annoying regarding elf lore and such, but I will ultimately always yield to whatever you believe elves are supposed to do, because I don't like forcing like, because how elves work in my world is what we're about to describe. They're very individualistic. They're not a monolith. So Eladrin are not too dissimilar from their elf brethren, which are technically, in an evolutionary sense, lesser than. Elves come into the material plane and are affected by the material plane. Eladrin are born in the Feywild and are empowered by it. So when they exit into the material plane, they're still filled with that Feywild spirit. If they were to have children, they would more likely be elves because they're being born in the material plane. Eladrin are only beneath, in Fey culture, Lachey, which are the things that became Arc Fey. They are entities that are like divine in power, and they had children. Those children were Eladrin, which is why they're so seasonally alive. Question?
Yes, I do. Would this Eladrin be considered a humanoid?
Yes.
Okay. That's important.
I don't believe Eladrin get the Fey characteristic. Let me double check.
One less person to worry about.
Eladrin. Eladrin. Creature type is humanoid. They are considered an elf for the purposes of effects that would be effective of elves. And yeah, they have a large amount of Fey kind of power inside of them. But yeah, they are effectively and again, for lack of a better term, mortals of the Feywild.
And Joseph, would you please pronounce your character's name?
Yeah, Sanat.
Sinat. Okay. Thank you.
So this would be the kind of introductionary kind of conversation that happens through Alizar. So names are kind of brought forward, and kind of understandings of everyone else. And then Alizar would remain if you have any questions for him with Sanat in presence. But if you don't have anything besides, then him and Rolling Rock are going to hop on hippogriffs and fly out of here.
I have a pressing question, and I believe Alizar is somewhat aware of the current situation in Anvil Vote.
Yep.
How well is a wizard's spellbook going to survive beneath the city?
He says the spellbook that your compatriot has will do fine, but if you wish to remain safe of it and be assured that it does not have any issues, do what you've done with mine and place it in the bag. They don't need their book to cast directly. They may need their grimoire, which should not have any issues with the effects below.
Okay. Joseph, out of character, just so you know, we've been dealing with some like magical ink and mist that has been taking magical inks out of books and making monsters out of it. So we were concerned about you bringing another spellbook down there because that would just be more magic ink and it would potentially ruin your spellbook. So if you'd like, I can hold on to that.
Probably a good idea.
Okay. And so
But
you don't
welcome.
and you'd only need your spellbook to prepare spells in the morning. So yeah, it could be stashed away in a bag of holding, and then when you come back up to surface, you could use it there. Sorry, continue.
Welcome, Sanat. I'm sure we'll be glad of your help. It's been a rough go lately, but we've got it where it counts. Right, guys?
Yes.
I would give him a thing of the soup that I made.
Oh, some of the
Oh,
soup.
I forgot we had soup.
Special soup.
Balasa, I think is what it is.
Blalatha soup is a recipe that Silas is capable of making, and apparently has some left over. If you consume the Blalatha, it will grant you +1 to your armor class and +1 to your saving throws against spells for 24 hours.
Good to
Yeah,
remember.
sounds good.
It's a hearty dwarvish soup.
Nyx would say, Sanat, it's so good to have you here. We've really struggled without a wizard. Bodhi and I have tried to do our best, but we're not really super good with Arcana. One time I knew an evil wizard who gave good hickeys. He was a necromancer. Ba-dum-bum.
Yay!
Okay.
Does Andy have inspiration?
Yeah, Andy, I'm gonna need you to.
Can we take it away?
I'm gonna need you to give me that inspiration.
Nope.
No, that's mine. Get out.
But yeah, we're not the most well-read bunch the conglomerates ever put into the field. There were
Pretty
some
sure the smartest one
trepidations
above us-
about us being employed. But we've got it where it counts. Please tell me you're literate.
Was Rolling Rock going to leave anything that he's picked up for the party to continue traveling?
That's a great question. Was there anything in particular on Rolling Rock that you were interested in?
The circlet for sure, because we're dumb as hell.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be really helpful.
So since the circlet is attunement, he will be less than inclined to pass it back.
What else is he holding on to? He had like mariner's armor?
Can I get like the adamantite hammers that we took from that one place and the adamantite he has on him?
You can
So I
have
can just
that.
pick it
That's
up?
absolutely fine.
Yay.
It probably would have been granted over to you when you got the bag of holding because he was want to carry it. It was a total.
You want to just post a list of his stuff and we'll figure that out of game later.
I'll go ahead and tell you what you'll be able to pull and just notate it, and that'll be simpler. So the jar of ichor that he took, 3 pounds of adamantine, 5 pounds of dragon glass, and 30 ounces of residuum. That's all he's willing to bequeath. Everything else is either his that he started with, or the circlet.
Okay, no.
He keeps his pound of sand too, the pound of beach sand.
I don't remember there being sand, but
You
He
can,
took
you
the
can
sand
pound
to the
sand.
glass
Yeah.
blower.
all
Set
right.
off of the white beach located at that middle island.
Well, I love jars of things.
He keeps the jar and the sand. He does not give it to you.
No, I'm taking the jar of ichor.
Oh, right. And that was ichor that was collected below. So it's very much the materia that makes the inkling of the light.
Don't open that.
Don't open that. But if you don't have any questions for Rolling Rock as he leaves, and you don't have any questions for Alazar as he's taking him, they are going to hop onto Hippogriffs and ride off. And that's for anybody. If you have anything that you want to throw out there. Last call.
Bye, Rolling Rock.
Any concerns, Sadat?
Take me with you! I don't have
Well,
anything.
You made your bed.
You signed up for this? Okay.
Are you good at casting spells?
Yes.
I believe
Because
him.
like a lot of us can cast spells, but maybe we're not great at it. Like I'm really good at stabbing things, if you know what I mean.
Me too.
I'm not that bad.
I pet Bodhi.
I moved people out of danger.
You stab the things, I'll blow them up.
Okay.
Sounds good
We're
enough for
gonna
me.
do great.
An evoker.
Now that we got Sadat, we're gonna do great.
Do my best not to let you die, buddy.
Anyway, Sadat, Uther's been acting weird since he talked to another giant guy.
You guys don't know I talked to another giant. You just know I'm depressed.
we
as
know
fuck.
you came back real
Well,
bummed out.
You did say that he was going to be along. We did tell him that.
I didn't say what he was. Just
Oh.
that someone was coming, because it was never told to us that he was a half giant, or I wouldn't have gone there by myself.
Yeah. And it's more specifically giant can. Half giants are a little
Sorry, I keep-
smaller.
yeah, whatever.
It's okay, no worries.
Was there? Again, it's like, well, it's like daytime, right? We're
It's
just
close to evening.
okay.
Yeah, we're retcon 2 before we went to sleep.
Gotcha. I don't suppose we want to press for an adamantine weapon since that was really holding us back against that page master.
It was.
I
But
know we have a small amount and 2 hammers.
They
one
do
hammer?
They do not have adamantine weapons on site, so you're not going to be able
Right.
to purchase one. However, you do have.
And I assume smithing one would take a full day?
It could take a bit longer. It could take about 3 days. Just depends on what you
Okay.
want. If it's a dagger, you could do it in probably a couple hours.
The hammers that Brent would have taken, would those serve as weapons? Are they actual weapon hammers, or are they just smithing tools?
They were mithril, were they not?
I believe they are mithril. Yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
one- they were the
Sorry, I
ones-
thought they were
the-
adamantine.
No, they're the ones to strike the bell from Horsetown.
Yeah, that's my. I thought it was adamantine, not mithril.
Joseph, you missed out. We totally schooled those nerds.
Adamantine
Really
kind of
good.
has like a less clear kind of like sound to it. It doesn't have like a good solid thud. It's very resistant to tremoring. However, mithril has like a songy kind of metal to it. So like when you have a hammer, it'll strike like kind of with like a nice clangor, and then if you have a sword, as you kind of move it about, it'll have like a song to it. It'll kind of like sing through the air.
Okay, so we don't have any adamantine weapons.
No, you have an adamantine shield which you could use as a weapon, but it'd be an
Yeah.
Who has an
weapon.
adamantine shield?
I do.
What the hell, Brent?
I have an
Okay.
adamantine shield, and if
Okay, no
and-
judgment. It's all about moving forward. We got Sanat. Uther's acting weird. We've
Let's
got
just
a
make sure
tail
we have
growing
everything on
back.
the table, you know?
can I actually like the plate armor I'm wearing, right? The +1. I have adamantite as the as a craftable thing. So like if I work on it one day, would I be able to make that adamantite +2 armor?
No, absolutely not. So adamantine is its own kind of trait, and it being magical to stop crits is a magical imbuement that's done to the adamantine. Adamantine armor by itself, non-magical, is just mundane. But adamantine armor as a magic item, the adamantine is imbued and enchanted in a way that causes it to resist critical hits. So these are very separate
Okay,
things.
gotcha. Because I was looking at like the tag and it said, while you're wearing this armor, any critical hit you give
That's
becomes
because
normal.
it's magical. It's not because it's adamantine. The adamantine
okay.
is the prime thing that's needed to make it do that. Why it's called what it is, but it is ultimately a magic item that you're creating.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I just noticed underneath, like on my page, it says Rapid Drinker and Swift Drinker.
Yeah. They don't have any stuff in them yet. I didn't fill them out. I'm a horribly lazy DM. But they are
Okay.
the stuff that you purchase. Rapid Drinker lets you drink as a bonus action. Quaff potions, and Swift Drinker lets you quaff as a reaction.
I didn't take both.
Oh, I thought you said you did.
I took one, and then I had the magic one that was right below that.
Oh, so which one did you take? Do you remember?
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh shit, he messaged it to me at one point.
So I'm going back into our chat here, scrolling through all of me sending a shit ton of pictures of the drawing, scooping up.
Was it like designated caster or focused caster?
Focus
Something
magic
like
user.
that? Focus
Yes.
magic user.
So I did Swift Drinker and Focus Magic User.
Okay, and did you have a type for that?
I was gonna say Lightning.
Okay. That's easy.
Good answer.
And so,
So you're a Civ.
sorry, that was Swift Drinker or Rapid Drinker.
Swift.
Got it. Thank you. All right. So it's not filled in with text, but noted. And then Focus Magic User will just say whenever you cast a lightning spell, you'll add 3 to the damage roll. If I recall correctly. Okay. Great stuff. Any other things that you want to do before the night concludes and move on to the next morning?
Just cry a little.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, obviously.
That's-
Any
I
other-
mean, it's bedtime. What?
any other words be said?
What-
Any
what
other
do you
tears to
expect?
be shed? No. Okay.
Did Alazar give you a rundown of what's happening down below? Sanat?
A little bit of information, but not everything.
So we came here by accident between you and me. We found this place. We came in through a lower level. There are refugees down there. The level beneath us, we're on the peak of a mountain, I'm sure you've realized. The level beneath us is a forge, correct me if I'm wrong, and beneath that is a library, or do I have them switched? Beneath us is a library, and beneath that is a forge. Somewhere in the two of those, there is a well of ink that we are hoping to plug somehow. There is a mechanical means that we're meant to do that. That is meant to do that, but we can't guarantee it'll work. These people are dying. Many have fled the mountain. I think many have died trying to flee the mountain. If we can find a way, we're going to stop this plague. There are some tough customers down below. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They're going to kick my ass. We keep our head on straight. We get a good night's sleep. We give them what for. Right, gang?
Yeah.
Huzzah!
There he
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
So I would say let's find a place to eat or sleep, get dinner, sleep, and then get ready to go.
Yeah, you've got rooms at the Moose, but the thing that Alizar would have told you, and I don't know if I put it in that massive block of text I sent you, but their mission, like your mission, is similar. You're wanting to break the conflict. Yours was brought on earlier than theirs, so it wasn't as pointed, because the Riders of Aeonis hadn't sieged Penford as of yet. Their mission, as explained to you by Alizar, is that they are to find Willowdean, the leader of the Riders of Aeonis, kill him, or destroy Bridger, which causes them to have a breakdown in their supply train, or take over the town of Aeonis, so that they have to return back to reclaim it, thus breaking the siege. Basically, the main mission is break the siege on Penford.
And is this right after having dealt with the members of my last party that
That would have been like a week or a 6 day ago, is literally how that happened. So you've been kind of wandering for a couple of days. Alizar found you and brought you here.
Okay.
Which is why they did not find Alizar where he was said to have been when they sought him, in their first effort. He was finding you.
And Joseph and the Aeonian Rider leader guy, they're from the same group, or that's a different group of walkers?
Different group of
dancers.
walkers. So the
Okay.
Willowdean is from the very, 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 very early onset. So like decades ago, when they were trying to create immortals. So Willowdean is one of the god-blooded, whereas Sanat is just like you. He's one of the final three. Basically, this would be the troop found by Alizar in the notifications for immortal troops.
I'm good for a rest.
Yeah,
Sleepy
but I don't
time,
fight.
sleepy time. Wakey up times. As you kind of
Get my
wake up,
points back.
Uther, and you kind of like look out the window from your group's chamber, or room. You can see just down the way, standing outside, is a Goliath, who you saw before. He has the two axes latched onto his back, and a pack kind of just hanging on his hip. Instead of wearing a backpack, he just has it like draped on his belt. Other than that, he's not wearing many clothes, which to you strikes you that he is a berserker. He is a person who, when in combat, will fly into a fit of rage and do so until his opponent is defeated.
I'd point him out to Bodhi and the others and say, that's our map. It's going with us.
Cousin of yours, or
That's racist.
Friend of yours?
No.
I've met two people that look like Uther. It's out of line to think he knows him. I haven't seen any other huskies around.
To be fair, most of your life in the material plane has been locked inside of a torture chamber.
Yeah,
so
it's been a
I'm
fucking breeze.
I'm gonna grant you, like, I'm gonna
No,
go ahead
no, there are
I
no
get a
literal
pass.
relations, but yeah, just he knows where we're going.
Oh, cool. Let's go say hi. And what was his name again? Gar.
So as you come down to meet him, he kind of looks up to Uther and gives him just like a a solemn nod. And then as he kind of looks to the rest of you, he says, "Ah, so you're friends of the exile?"
Yeah, I guess.
Great. Well, if you're ready, we can make our way down. I know where the marker, or I know where the levers are.
Do we notice
Like a difference in markings.
well, not really that. Did we know I forget your name. It's not I know it's not Raya.
Uther?
Uther. Did Uther make a, like any reaction when he
His
said
head's
the
down.
Well, I mean, was there any reaction when he said, "Ah, you know the," or is it
The
just
traitor?
kind of blank?
The exile.
He just
Exile.
cried a little more.
I believe Uther, he described it before, and I just want to check with you, Jeremy, to make sure this is right. Like, the whole time you're interacting with Gar, his head's kind of down, and he's just kind of, like, staring at the ground, not really paying attention.
Yeah, he's a sad boy.
So, yeah, you would notice that, Silas. It seems that Gar, being this energetic individual, is very different than Uther normally. Uther's very calculating and cold. And, also now, like, him being in his presence is causing Uther to be even more distant. But Gar says, "Well, great. I'm ready when you are."
Which direction would you recommend? Where would you recommend we start with
The
these
exile
levers?
said we were going to be entering through the basement of this fine establishment.
Sounds good to me. You know this place like the back of your enormous hands.
Looks at his hand. They are quite big, aren't they? Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes,
get that
think-
one.
I think I have a pretty good understanding of where we'll be going. Sure. Right.
Would walk towards it, but I'd want to walk up in front and kind of just show the giant Slayer sword. Just keep walking.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to care.
Okay.
Like it doesn't seem to register with him. But from what you kind of picked up before, when Uther went to go and speak to the smith, it ended up being this guy. So you would know that it's not because he doesn't recognize what it is. It might just be the case he just doesn't care.
Okay.
He knows he's not giant and it won't affect him like you think it will.
Right. So let me change the music up a bit, and it was
Uther's afraid of it for fun. I'm fully aware it can't affect me.
all right. Gar's more aware.
We
Because
don't
he
have the
actually-
giant type, only the language.
He actually makes those. But I should have you spotted here. Everybody's kind of stacked at current, and I'm going to start playing obviously more dour music because we're in a dungeon.
And I'm back.
Yeah, that one music was rough, John.
What, the one we were just playing?
Oh my god, yeah.
Was it?
It was very sleepy-y.
Yeah, that's the goal. That was
It was
what I-
like,
Well,
oh my god.
perfect.
You guys listen to the music?
I chose the right one. Yeah, of course we do. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jody. Gain inspiration for listening to the music.
Anybody need inspiration? I already got
No, I'm kidding.
I don't have it.
Brent,
So yeah,
it. Give it to Brent.
okay, so perfect. The last time we were in here, the still is to the south. That's where you found Foresight, and to the north, you have the path that leads to the well. At this juncture, and again, you've spent hours like away from this place. You can still hear the sounds of as they seem to have inklings still moving about freely. You remember that the last time you were in here, left and then came back, they had all jumped back into the well. It does not seem that they have returned this time.
It's the last time we didn't spawn a monster and run away.
Right.
true. Maybe they're patrolling.
A little bit of infighting.
I'll try to point out to Gar that some things went down on the west side of this building.
I'd also let them know that they seem to be attracted to sound, so keep quiet.
Yeah, sure, no problem, he says in response. His voice
Wait.
booming.
We've already triggered the northwest lever. We just need to find the other three.
I just want to make sure you understand the guy standing tall is as tall as like Ezekiel, right? But every time like you see him kind of like pop into like a combat stance, he drops to a good like 5'8" or like 6 foot, like as he kind of like hunches over and like kind of
Yeah.
like balls up. He is very loud and just very kind of his presence is very large. that said, he's going to take the lead. I'm just trying to get his token to drop, and for some reason it's just not doing it.
It was there a second ago.
Well, I just dropped another one because whatever. And he moves to here, kind of points north, and he says, well, that's weird. And the other one we're looking for is that way.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast light on my torch.
He should be glowing, yeah.
It's already glowing. I'm just keeping it honest
He points.
and myself not blind.
What about that? You didn't mention that in what you were saying to me before, as he kind of points north of himself. If anybody kind of takes a gander, you'll know that this
It's the hand.
Yep.
I wanted to go that way since we first came down here.
High five it.
Didn't somebody else mention the hand already?
Yep.
On the surface?
Yeah, not to Gar though.
Oh. I thought he knew this place.
Nope.
Gar, I thought you knew this place.
I do. This is renovations. This is new stuff.
Yeah, dwarves work fast. Ezekiel, do you want to interact with the scary hand?
Please, yes. Zuko's gonna
I'm
go
gonna
up to the
cast
hand.
guidance on Ezekiel
Okay.
and cover my ears and stand exactly where I am.
For Ezekiel, as you move forward, Sanat, you kind of make your way down, kind of maintaining kind of like a distance away from the group, kind of behind them, not jumping forward or anything. A magely kind of station in a marching order. What you'll notice is that there's a kind of dynamic wind that flutters about this passageway. That's not like a natural wind. It just seems to be kind of this dark wind that's kind of fluttering about. There's a dark mist that kind of flutters like smoke on the air. And as you kind of enter this space, you can understand, being someone who's trained in Arcana immediately, that you are no longer kind of in a normal material space. You are in a space that has been afflicted with the Shadow Realm, which is the plane of death. So this space seems to be kind of filled with this lingering presence of something or some things that are dead. That make sense? And that'll manifest itself through the space as kind of these dark shadows, and also your sight line. Like, if you're not looking in a dark vision sense, if you actually are looking kind of like a normal light sense, everything kind of comes off as like this kind of gray scale. It's almost like you're in a noir like film, and that's normally the case for dark vision, anyways. But yeah, even in like normal light sense, you're seeing that as well. Ezekiel, the good pupper, walks up to the shadow hand. As you approach it, its fingers kind of creep out and extend, kind of touching the ceiling and becoming like shadows on the walls around you. I'd like for you to go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. And if you have any effects that are beneficial against frightened, those would take precedent. Oh, is your brother frozen, Jeremy? Oh no, he moved. Okay.
I was frozen as we transitioned down here.
Okay. I was like, gosh, I gotta.
Alright, I have advantage for impulse control.
Okay, cool.
Makes it a 20.
All right. So you feel this kind of lingering sense of dread kind of fill you, and for a second you see these just strange flashes of you, like being kind of torn apart by the hand, and you think they're real. Like, you kind of feel like this could happen, but you kind of. Then why hasn't it happened yet? As you kind of step into it, and you realize that this is just a front. This is this strange kind of supernatural effect that is affecting you in your mind. You can walk past it, no problem.
Yay! After I walk past, I'll kind of look back and be like, if you're not good at not being afraid, watch out for the hand.
Nah, Gar just walks. I'm great at it.
Me too, buddy! I'll go for a high five.
Wait, hold on. I gotta see if he actually is good at it. He does also have advantage against frightened effects. But let's see if his wisdom. 15's good enough. Yeah, he's he high fives you on the other side.
Let's go!
Let's go. Okay. Anybody else wanting to steal their way past the shadow hand?
I mean, if
How
if
far
we
is the
gotta,
lever?
What's that, Jeremy?
How far away is the lever?
Not too far. If you want Gar and Ezekiel to find it, Gar will lead the way and take him on up there. Is that what
Do
you
they
want?
feel like they need a party? Ask them.
Guard doesn't say anything because he doesn't think he needs anybody. But
Ezekiel, you go with that?
Yeah, I'm sure we can do this.
Holler at your boy.
Got you.
I'll get scared of a hand.
so he takes you on up this way, and as you kind of make your approach, he kind of comes up to this door on the side, and just briskly kind of just pushes it open without much of a concern. He then steps inside and points kind of at the southern wall from him. And says, "There's your lever."
All right.
And then
I'll
he kind of,
walk in and pull it.
okay, if you kind of get to it, then he doesn't try to like do it for you. But since you have a strength score of higher than 15, you're able to push it without much issue, and it slams down into place. And just like before, you hear the kind of metallic sound, sounding like it's kind of dropping into like a liquid. This is more audible to Sanat and Nyx, as they're kind of right there at the spot. And Garin, you start heading back.
I'm gonna kill my instinct to open every door and wander around.
Gar doesn't seem to be paying attention to you as you're just walking along. He doesn't seem to stop or pause. But
We'll figure this out though. I'm coming back for these doors that ain't opened.
Gar kind of raises his hand up and goes, "That makes 2."
Yeah.
All right. Gar will lead the way southwardly, and then up a series of stairs.
I'll follow.
He would pause and kind of look at the marker and say, "This here," and you would see that there's one of the markers with the Roman numeral, or rather the Bernard old marker, kind of present there, just like before. And he says, "This one's actually a false marker for confusion, but it does, if I recall correctly, have." He kind of looks behind it. Yeah. Yes. And he kind of points to Ezekiel, who, when you look around the marker, you would see that behind it, there is a small lever. And he would say, "This one, if you pull it, or were to pull it, it is to a trap upon you, kind of lock you into this space. I don't know exactly what this one does." He's kind of looking around. I think it has something to do with the stairs.
Good to know.
And then
So
he
the room one is up the stairs.
starts opening up the stairs. He comes
I will
to.
follow.
Hold on a second here. He comes to a door,
I think we're following.
and this one is locked. So he kind of stops at it and looks at you and says, "I don't have the key."
Yeah.
Any of you have a means of opening this door?
We used to.
Rolling run.
What does the door look like?
Metal, kind of solid in its frame. The exterior frame is kind of metal as well. The hinges are not apparent to you on this side. Looking at it, it definitely looks like it's pretty sturdy. The door knob is in the center of the door instead of on the side.
Not, you know any door opening tricks? Fair.
I do not.
Well, I think we can go around, but we'll have to enter into the main chamber and head up the main stair, the grand stair.
I can take a crack at it if you'd like.
He steps aside.
I don't have these tools, but I do have lockpicks. Is it just a raw dex check?
Yeah, it'd be a raw dex check. And yeah,
Could I?
not being trained will raise the DC. It does not.
I'm gonna bardic inspiration for that.
And I'll cast guidance. He looks nervous.
Yep. So
He
you
looks
start telling tales
nervous.
about how Rolling Rock got information from his ancestor. I can't remember the one that did the door nonsense, but yeah, go ahead and roll your D8 for Bardic Inspiration, and
Yes.
then a
25.
guidance roll. D4.
Another
27.
2.
All right. So yeah, that door. You kind of pull out the thieves' tools. You kind of think about it. And kind of try and remember as they're telling the stories of what Rolling Rock would kind of do when he was bringing forth the borrowed knowledge. You remember some stuff, and you kind of click it open.
Holy smokes.
Sure enough, the door opens, allowing you to purchase through. Looks like the shadows here are much darker on the other side, and it seems there's like a roil to them. Like there's like a heavy kind of current that seems to kind of circulating inside of the center. It's so opaque, the shadow here in some spaces, that it's hard to see through.
The last time I saw him spin like this, a monster spawned in it.
That's
I'm
true.
gonna try to hold the torch aloft. It's not a magical darkness, I assume.
It's not a magical darkness, but it's more of like a smoke or like an actual thick kind of material than it is
Okay.
just kind of like darkness.
I'm gonna step upside down and try to walk over the smoke.
Okay. It
I always
goes-
forget you have the
yeah.
spider boots.
It goes floor to ceiling. So as you watch Sanat, you see that Uther kind of places his hands on the wall, moves up them as if he's able to kind of like connect to it, and then kind of starts crawling across the ceiling into the space. The darkness still kind of catches and manifests like, you know, in your face. And it's heavy enough that it actually, like, as you kind of breathe in for a second, you can feel a more kind of like looming sense that it's tangible. Yeah. Go ahead and make a con saving
I
throw.
can taste it.
Yeah.
Hey, 24.
So you're kind of like feeling like if you've ever cooked like on a barbecue, like if you've ever just kind of like been over it for a long time, you kind of get like a gritty kind of like smoke to, like, you know, like it's like a gritty smoke, and it just feels like it's kind of trying to get in there, and you're able to kind of stymie it from doing so. So you can move, and I will have Gar move along with you underneath. So go ahead and make his check.
Shoulder to shoulder.
And he's good too. And he kind of leads you on up the stairs. Comes to this point here. And the smoke is cleared by this point. He looks at you and says, I don't know if your friends will be able to stomach it, but I'm assuming, based on that performance, you breathe the deep earth air.
Yeah, I've been in the thick of it before. Like, let's just get the lever pulled and we can get back to them.
Is there a chicken in there?
Oh, I found a chicken.
There's a 6-year-old.
There's a 6-year-old. I love it. Okay, Rethink, are you? It looks like you're pressing. Are you going through?
Yeah, sure.
Con saving throw.
15.
You're good. You're able to make your way through. Gar would say that it's further up, and he kind of moves into this area and kind of makes his way here and stops. And for those who are kind of behind, Bodhi, Silas, Nyx, and Sanat, if you folks want to continue through and follow, you certainly can. But again, there's obviously the smoke that has to be kind of dealt with.
Do you have any more of that, like that help you could give to me? I can give help to other people, but not to myself.
I don't think it does saves. It's checked
Okay.
for me.
The Balatha soup. We ate that. That gives
That would be
saves.
for spells and spells.
As magics.
Oh,
And
okay.
so instead, he would turn to Sanat and say some kind words and repeat quietly that amazing pun to inspire him.
I have a question. Am I able to see through the smoke to the other side, or?
Yeah, it creates an obscuring effect. So, like, if you were to fire through it with like an attack, it would be obscured. But you can see enough through it that you can kind of make your way through. Or for the cases of spells, which I'm assuming where you're leaning, the main issue is that it kind of zigzags. So Misty Step won't work perfect if that's where you're going towards.
Like face step?
Yeah, face up. Sorry. Yeah, it wouldn't be a perfect shot to shot kind of point because it goes here. I'll show you what I mean. Like when you first enter in, it kind of enters into this large square room. Then there's another kind of winding pass, and it kind of goes around a bit. So you don't have a clear line of sight to clear, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But if you'd like, you can just go ahead and make an Arcana check.
That'd be pretty rad.
Hold, please.
It's so cool to have somebody do that.
Same thing. Yep, perfect. Nailed it. Folks are kind of like, thinking about it and kind of like, talking to each other, telling puns, etc. But you realize that you probably have like a decent amount of a boon if you just cover your face, like your nose and your mouth, because it seems that the inhalation is the problem, not anything else.
Oh, would you say that to
Don't
the
inhale
others?
the smoke.
Oh,
Just
thank you.
cover your nose and mouth, and you should be
Of
fine.
course.
And if you want to take the lead on that, you can kind of pull your cloak up to your mouth and kind of cover your face and make your way in. Doing so will grant you advantage on the saving throw, but I'll still require a Constitution save from you as you move into.
You have a
And
D8
you
for
have-
Bardic
and you have a Bardic
Inspiration.
if you need to use it. But for con saves, up in the top, there's that small little box above the skills that has all of the abilities listed: strength, dex, con. So just click con up there in that small box above the skills.
Okay. Do I need to move myself before or after that?
Oh no, just go ahead and roll it now, and I'll kind of help you through the movement.
Tell me one more time where to find this. I'm sorry.
So
It's directly
skills,
above your skills list.
Right above that is the saves.
It saves.
And con is the one you want. Constitution.
Do you see it?
Thought I did.
Okay.
Where you clicked on Arcana?
Yeah, nailed it.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, sufficient. So you kind of cover your mouth and just very stoically and very kind of casually move into the smoke. They lose sight of you for a second, and as Bodhi kind of like looks around the door, you see Sanat just kind of glide through the shadow and kind of move towards the stairs, following after Ezekiel. So you'll just kind of move through the space up the stairs, and you'll eventually see a big white dog.
I can't let the new guy show me up. I'm pinching my nose and wrapping a sleeve around my face.
All right.
Same.
Con saving throws. Throw 'em.
Hell yeah.
All right, Bodhi. Shodi, you're fine. Silas is able to kind of like,
It's bound to happen. Next!
cover the snoot, and then as Bodhi and Nyx kind of move in, you're kind of, covering your face and coughing and coughing. I need the two of you to go ahead and roll me 2d6 as you move through the space. Okay. That's for Nyx. And for Bodhi?
I think I clicked it twice. 10.
Yeah, 10. So you're going to reduce your maximum hit point total by the amount that you
Fantastic.
rolled.
Fantastic.
So
I can afford
seems,
this.
This seems to be like, because we've already discussed the nature of the space. Like, if you spend an hour in it, it starts to suck away your mortality.
Mhm.
It seems that this kind of
Concentrated.
Yeah, it's concentrated, just bad. And as you kind of breathe it in, it seems to kind of get into you and seep at your life.
Oh boy.
And if that reduces your current hit point total as well, then yeah, that will drop it as well.
It reduces your current hit point total or your max
If
only?
you have like 30 hit points and you reduce it to 20, your maximum hit points and your current hit points will be 20. But if you had 20,
Yeah, we all rested. It's gonna.
if you had 10 hit points and you reduce your 30 down to 20, you'd have 10 out of 20. Make sense?
No.
Take
Sorry.
10 off both the current hit points and max hit points.
Oh, okay. For me, it's 6, but yes. Okay, cool.
Or, sorry.
Yeah, since you're not
No
damaged.
problem.
Cool. So Gar kind of stops for a second at this point, Uther, as everyone else is kind of catching up, and kind of looks off to the right, confused.
We still make it through though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a
I
problem?
lost the group. Stairs?
That's fucking weird, he says, as you kind of like above him, kind of creep around the ledge. You see this massive swirl of shadow, and it seems like it's kind of emanating the trail of shadow that's kind of passing by him. It's this very strange, kind of just ghostly looking thing that's just kind of floating in the air. It's not a solid mode of shadow. It's almost as if it's like some sort of structure that now appears to be made out of shadow. That's not the way, but yeah.
Does it have a shape to it?
It almost looks like it's some sort of like table.
I don't see Sanat's token.
Like a ghost table.
Like a ghost table that's shooting shadow out of it.
Sorry, I moved into the same spot as someone else.
Yeah.
You can dig in.
Yeah, that is weird.
That is really weird. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But it's not the right way. We can just go this way. And he kind of pops down to the south. As you're kind of making your way up the stairs, you would see that off to the right, there is a glowing bit of color there. From what you would note is the magical circles, the protecting circles. But he seems to be kind of turning his attention to the left, his directional left, and looking that way instead. And it looks like the shadow there is more solid. Like you're going to be entering into another kind of like clinging wall.
I'll point out the ghost table to everybody else. Keep an eye on that. Pass it back.
Ghost table.
There's a
I'll
table.
stay. Pass it back.
Is that something that I can like either, I guess, Arcana or like perception check what that is?
So just casually, you would note that since you're in this kind of strange state of like the shadow plane entering in the material in this kind of death sense, it could be a lingering object from the plane of shadow that seems to be kind of emanating here in the material. Other than that, not really much you're going to be able to discern. Like it definitely looks like it's a ethereal table. It is very much, as they described it, a ghost table.
Yeah, Nyx would turn back to Silas and say, "There's a table of goats. Pass it back."
There's a table for roast?
Goats.
I mean,
No,
just wrote
we're
that-
doing the telephone thing.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
I said roast. And
No, and then you have to say the wrong thing back.
He pulled out his fork and his knife, and he's just like, ready.
yeah, dude, I'm
And
like,
then
oh, I need a roasting table.
Bodhi's there.
Guys, I
being
heard
like-
there's a stable of goats. I gotta go check it out.
Right, exactly.
Find a girlfriend.
Batters. Yeah, Gar looks like he's going to start stealing his way through. He doesn't cover his mouth or anything. He just immediately kind of moves into the shadow like he did with the first instance. Uther, looking at the others as they came out of the shadow. Uther,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and cover up. That's a good idea.
But yeah, he'll make his way. Oh. Oops. He'll make his
Is
way.
he okay?
He kind of did the stretches, but yeah, he makes his way into the dark, and he'll go ahead and make his con saving throw. He succeeds.
17.
You succeed, and you make your way to a point where you're at another bookshelf wall. We've kind of seen these in the past to describe them to Sanat. A lot of the walls in the library are solid bookshelves, but they kind of have like a decent amount of transparency through. So they're like small points where like, you know, a book is missing here or there, or like a book is shifted, and you can kind of see through it just a little bit. And you can see that there's a glow here in this space. Gar will kind of move past it unconcerned, not paying attention to the shadow, and kind of make his way down to this door here at the south. And as he's kind of moving through the shadow, not really looking, you see him kind of slam into the door and just barge into the space below. His axes immediately just flare out in like two perfect, like full circles into his hands, and he's just looking around. It doesn't look like he's jumping into a fight. It just looks like, you know, going through the door he was ready to.
Yuko's gonna follow after him, trying to cover his nose and mouth as best he can.
You have advantage. Go ahead and make your con saving throw. And as he kind
All
of
right, 12.
slam, you would take 2d6. Go ahead and roll him. But as he kind of slams into this space, you kind of see him look around. He then points with the bone axe towards this wall here, and you can see on that wall there's the lever. And since you were the one who threw the first lever, you know what it looks like and you recognize it as such.
I'll step over and pull it.
Okay. Very less audible. Bodhi, you're probably the only one who kind of even hears most of it, but you hear the kind of metallic sound kind of sinking beneath the water.
It's like we're good, boys.
So Sanat, Nyx, and or Ezekiel already rolled. If you two are moving into the shadow, you'll be making con checks. If you want to stay back and wait, you can as well.
Oh yeah, let's stay back since we already were negatively affected.
Sanat, you already rolled it. I see it there. Perfect. Okay, yeah, boss. boss. You make it up to that bookshelf. You can see through the bookshelf that there's a glowing light. You recognize the glowing light as a circle of protection against evil. So it appears to be on the other side of the bookshelf, and you can see that there's a way to get around it down here.
Ooh, I'm a wizard. I know what things are. It's not just a glowing fucking rock on the ground.
Glowing rock on the ground. Shit, not
We
again.
made do with that information.
Ooh, I get the names of things.
You see the marker that we've described before. It's a kind of gold plate, kind of settled on like a. It's almost like a gravestone, right? But it has the Roman numeral 5 on it, and in game it's a Janaran numeral for the number 5. It looks like there's a number of books kind of placed in about this space. The papers that are fluttering around here kind of stop at the magic circle. The pages that you've seen fluttering around don't have any writing on them. And a lot of the books that you've passed by look like their titles have been removed from them by some magical means. Looking at the books that are inside of this space and the scrolls here, it looks like they have been barred from the ink removal. It looks like there are books that are of import here.
So if I want to check that out, I just move over there.
Yeah, and so you kind of look around at them, and you would note that it seems that a lot of the books here are listed as being histories of a family known as the Kinards, Kinard. It seems like it's their history. It seems that it's their kind of stories, points of interest in their kind of historical, denotation. But you also see that there's one book that stands out as different from the rest, and the title seems to be written in Celestial. And as you kind of pick up the book and take it, looking at the insert, the writing immediately changes to fit your eyes and becomes Elvish. And you realize that this tome appears to be a magical tome that you would need to identify or start reading to be able to know what it does.
Okay.
Do you want to take the book or leave it?
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. Take the book, put it into your bag, and head out. Alright. Everybody's got the lever thrown. We're heading back out the way we came. As Gar is kind of saying that that's what we gotta do. And when you make it back to the weird table, he kind of takes a second, looks at the dwarf statues on the wall here, and then nods his head and kind of heads down the stairs, down all the way to the three-way, and then makes his way up and to the side here.
Sure.
Pushing open the door, he leads
Isn't
you.
this where the ghost table is?
Jeez.
Ghost
Everybody's
table-
on top of.
the ghost
Slow
table's-
down.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to deal with that anyway.
That makes sense. But he opens the door, and those who've been here before will recognize this space. This is where you came up from below. These are the steps that came up from below. And this is the grand stair, and this is kind of the chamber that you were in before. He kind of points over in that direction and says, the next one's over that way, in the scholar's office. Nodding, he kind of moves on if nobody's going to, kind of contest him. And looks like he's taking the most direct route that he can muster. Looks like some of the shadows kind of move off into this small little side chamber, and then the door in front of him that he comes to has no shadows moving to it, but there's a strange sense of kind of darkness kind of pervading around the door and coming out from underneath the door.
Where he's standing or where we're walking through right
The
now?
door he's about to open.
Gar, is that safe? It seems to be spilling out.
He kind of stops as he's got his handle on the door. Oh, I didn't really think about it. What do you think?
I think you're one tough son of a bitch, and I'm gonna stand back here
If the lever's in there, we gotta
if
go.
you're about to open it.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. And he kind of opens the door. As he does so, a backdraft of this kind of wind kind of flutters out from the doorway as he opens it. And I would like for Ezekiel and him to make con saving throws.
17.
You're good. Let's see how he does. Good. So it kind of like pervades across you. There's like this sense of dread that kind of fills the two of you, just for a second, really, and then it kind of just dies back down, and you can see the mist beyond is kind of like fluttering in its space. He kind of, okay, just walks on through, making his way to here. He stops, and he says, out of respect, I'm going to remain here. He points to the south, but the switch should be that way in the scholar's office.
This way?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll walk that way.
He let it all out. It's not just
One second.
condensed there
One
as
second.
the others.
1 second. So, Rosita,
Sure.
back up one. As you're making your way up, you can see as you're coming around the corner the marker, which denotes that it's probably around here, right? And you're kind of coming around the corner into this office space. And as you're kind of looking into this back area, you can see a very large desk covered with books, with tools. There's like an Allenbeck, a retort, all sorts of different tools that would be kind of used by a scholar of all different practices. There's, all different things kind of across the table. Anything that you could think could be used as a scholarly kind of implement is here. The other thing you're noting is that the papers on the wall, the papers that are kind of fluttering in this space, don't have their ink removed. And as you come around that corner to see the very lavish-looking office chair set at that desk, for a second, you're almost certain you see a form sitting there. Turn and look over its shoulder like this, then vanish.
Okay. I'll definitely relay that information to the party. And,
What kind of form?
looking for the leader.
As far as that question, to answer that for you, Ezekiel, the form that you saw, basically, if you've ever walked into a room and like seen a person, and then like took a second to kind of catch that that person was there, and then when you like figured it out, you knew who it was. That moment before is all you got.
I got through. Yeah, I'll let them know that I didn't really get a good look at it. It was more of like a kind of thought someone was there, but not 100%.
Something's been protecting this area.
Yeah, it looks like it. None of the pages in here have the writing taken away by the mist.
The lever's present.
Lever is present. It's actually on the north side of the desk, kind of in a space in between two shelves.
Last chance to eat your snacks and prepare yourselves. If we pull this one, the big monster will spawn, according to the captain.
No, we have one more.
Well, this is 4, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah, we got the northwest one first.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm gonna look at Sinat. Would I recognize if they've cast mage armor on themselves yet?
Have you cast Mage Armor? on
Joseph,
yourself?
would you have cast mage armor on yourself?
I mean, I thought I had picked that as one of my things, but it is not showing on my spell list.
Don't even worry about it. I'm twitting the spell and slapping him on the back. We both have mage armor.
Mage armor +1 because you had food last
Yeah,
night.
you got Mage Armor.
Ooh!
It's on your spell list.
Oh, okay, now I see it. Sorry, I don't know how to
Well,
read.
even
apparently.
still, I cast it for you. I'm a good guy.
Save your slots for killing things.
As you kind
Yeah.
of grab a hold of the lever and prepare,
I'm holding it until everybody tells me they're ready.
as you're
Just-
preparing to throw it, you kind of hear this very strange whisper, just at like, just on the corner of like your senses, and it says, "Are you sure?"
We have to.
You know not what you do.
Nope.
Par for the course. Disembodied voice.
We don't know anything. That's the point.
Again, it's a voice that only Uther is hearing.
I know.
Again.
I just like sassing it.
Damn me and hearing things.
I elect to ignore this warning.
Are the rest of you prepared?
Yes.
Just hurry up and get it done.
What would you recommend we do? Voice?
Let it all fall.
Oh, Levi Crunk!
Yeah, pull the lever.
For a second, you see kind of like standing next to you, like on the other side of the chair, kind of hand on a chair, this form of what appears to be an elvish man, just for a second. And then you kind of like, and the eyes kind of linger in your eyes for a second, like almost as if they're like locked in your
Just
memory.
quick reminder: 2 of us have blind sight, so if there is
I
something
know.
here,
I know.
okay.
Yeah, again, there's nothing physically.
Okay,
here.
cool. Just want to make sure.
It is very much a ghost. It is very much on the ethereal. But yeah, you see these kind of lingering eyes kind of present there, which are not too dissimilar from Sanat's eyes in that they kind of have like a very solid coloring to them. And these appear to be kind of like this purplish color before they fade. The next second, you kind of, disregard it and look to everybody else, the lever being thrown. You kind of close your eyes and like, almost as if you stared into a light for a long time, those purple eyes kind of just sit there in your mind. But to everyone else, the second the lever is thrown, all of the darkness, all of the strange shadow kind of starts actually having a course to it. It seems to be moving in a direction. And the directionality, at least your mentality, was to know that it is heading back towards the well.
Let's head back to the
Good.
well, boys. Time to go
I'd
beat
work
up
you
to
for-
Mink.
As you start to make your way that way, you start hearing a very loud splashing sound, kind of like a very, very horrific kind of thudding as well. Gar kind of makes his way out there, like so, drawing you a path so you kind of have an idea, and stops.
John, quick question. Apologies.
Yeah.
The Bloloth, would it have any effect on mage armor?
The what?
The Bloloth soup?
No. It's separate.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, Bloloth is just a bonus. Static.
Making sure.
Looking north, Ezekiel, as you kind of make your way, the shadow is very kind of just tangible, but you can kind of in the darkness see like just the kind of outline of the well and the outline of the stuff to the north. But what you are definitely seeing is that there's something very massive and very kind of just liquidy, kind of moving about with all of these different tendrils latching onto the pillar in the center. It almost looks like there's a net around the pillar in the center of the well.
Boys, we gotta go stop it from raising that well.
And hold on a second here. Gone.
Why do they not get the +1 from the soup?
I didn't say they didn't. I said they did.
You said
We don't. It doesn't affect mage armor.
It doesn't affect mage armor. It's separate.
No, they still get it.
Yeah, they still get
But
it.
13 plus Dex +1.
Right. It's a bonus. It's
Yeah, no, the way you said it sounded like you were
the
telling
way
him
he
he didn't.
asked
He
it
no
was
longer got it.
really weird. Yeah, you get +1 to your AC versus spells because of the Blaloth soup. It is not.
No, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was asking was, does it affect the casting of mage armor?
No.
It doesn't make mage armor any better. It's just a blank +1 against spells
Right.
separate from
Correct.
That's it. Yeah, the way he asked it, Jeremy, was really weird. So I was trying to answer it the way he asked it. But yeah, you're right. 100%. The way you worded it would have been great. But yeah, so like I said, it looks like there's a massive kind of inky mass on the well, kind of grasping it with different pseudopods, trying to lift up the pin. Which you know, based on the description you've been given, is what you just dropped by hitting all 4 switches.
I will head that way to try to stop it.
Seeing its massive form, you can see that there are just a bunch of different kind of pseudopods, ink blots, tendrils, faces formed out of it, all kind of just erupting out sideways and angrily kind of breaching in this kind of nasty, watery sound. And its main core of it is just kind of focused on these fingers, these pseudopods kind of attaching to the top of it, and you can see it straining, like the liquid kind of breaking at some points and kind of forcing up in others, and you can see a slight bit of movement on the massive platinum spike in the center. It appears to be very capable of moving it, and it'll only just be a matter of time, unless it's distracted
Yeah.
somehow from doing
As
it.
soon as I see that, I'm gonna let the party know and then start booking it up to try to stop it.
All right. It is not engaged in combat. It is not going to fight you until you fight it.
Okay.
So,
So we can all just start blasting it.
if you'd like, during a round, you can roll initiative and act. What I'm saying is it won't be surprised. It will start fighting you. I'm just saying it won't go first.
Gotcha.
We get one round of throwing shit at it
Well,
before it
not
hits
a full
us.
round, because it'll still act in that round. It just depends on where its initiative is. It won't be high. It doesn't have a good
Oh, you did trigger the board yet?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and throw it out if you want.
Sure.
God, I'm always so slow.
Why am I so fast?
Okay. Everybody on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's where you're wanting to start. I'll go ahead and get Gar on there as well, and also the creature.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yep, its initiative is shit.
Better than mine.
It's got a -5 to its roll.
Oh no, never mind. It's
Wow.
got 3.
Jesus.
I seen Gar's and thought it was his.
Nyx, so you see that everyone's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
prepared to move and start engaging with it. If you can see it, you can engage with it range combat wise. But yeah, it very much looks like it is kind of just this mass of fluid that's kind of just sentient, kind of reaching out from itself, kind of just grasping. It looks like you can see faces kind of roiling throughout it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to do a thing real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. Does that let me work? Real quick. Yep, so I am going to use my Wand of Fireballs. So 7 charges. Is that right? Does it get a DC save? Is that right?
Yeah, DC 15.
Okay, so we're gonna try Fireball.
Yeah, it doesn't dodge. You watch as the fireball hits in its center and detonates. It creates this cavity for a second, but you immediately see the cavity of flame get engulfed by the ink and cover the flame. It looks like the fire does do damage, but to the more observant eyes, especially magically observant eyes, I would say Sanat, Bodhi, and Nyx, kind of seeing the detonation, you realize that the ink is resistant to the spell.
I'll look at Sanat and say, "Oh shit! Hope you
Looks
have
like it's
better."
resistant to fire.
Yeah. Damn it.
Bodhi.
Well, I'm gonna look at Silas and Ezekiel, and I'm assuming they want to be closer to it.
Yes.
And without asking further questions, I am going to twin the spell Vortex Warp,
Set him up.
my very favorite. And we are moving them.
Onto the split,
Yeah, let's say.
like here and here.
Move them back just a hair. Like, move them.
Well, they won't be in the ink at that point. They'll be on the plinth. They'll be like on the little kind of step.
Okay, I don't want to put them in immediate danger, but I want them to be in an actionable
Okay.
space.
That makes sense. Here and here then, at the bottom of the steps.
Yeah, those steps leading up to the well sound good.
Silas, go ahead and move yourself there. And then that's it for you, Nick. Or sorry, that's
Wow,
it for you, Bodhi. Whoosh! Anything else, Bodhi?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, Silas, what implement do you draw forward as you prepare to engage with it?
Just question real quick here. Where am I at currently on here? Like, I mean, is it still a pool of ink that he's in?
Yeah, he is, but this kind of space right in front of you is kind of like the plinth up, so like kind of like a place you would stand, and like maybe if you're into fortune, kind of casting, you know, a gem or something into the liquid. You can
Okay.
stand adjacent to it and not be in the ink. If you go to the left or to the right of that space, you'll need an acrobatics check to remain on the ledge. Like
Okay,
on the,
I'm gonna
the rail.
pull
of
my
it.
warhammer and wield it two-handed,
Okay.
and try to swing and then move forward, hit back, swing, hit, move back.
All right. Um, 18 hits, 15 hits.
And then I'm going to move back.
Is the damage coming from a magical weapon?
They're the two-handed.
No, the Warhammer's
Yeah.
not magical.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Was it?
I'm
What is
pretty sure it was.
I don't see any trait on it saying that it is.
I thought it was a plus one.
I don't remember getting on a +1 Warhammer.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so as you smash into it, you'll learn the first thing about this creature. It doesn't appear to take any damage from the non-magical effect. And your weapon, after the first hit, becomes fine. After the second hit, becomes poor. And you have a -1 to damage from the first hit and a -1 to damage from the second hit as it corrodes. As you smash into the liquid, you can actually see it burning the head of the hammer apart. So it now has the poor quality condition and -2 to damage rolls moving forward until it's repaired.
Okay, I'm gonna
Throw that to the
throw it
side.
away. It's gonna be
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, perfect.
My bad.
That was on 20. On the end of 20, the bottom of 20, the lair will take an action. Everyone in the space, you start to realize as it kind of like, you know, lets go of this the pin and kind of moves its attention to you. Not really looking at you, but you can just feel that it's kind of focusing its attention on you. You start to see that the smoke that's kind of swirling above it starts to solidify and drop down in this inky rain. Anything that's within 30 feet of the creature will need to make a dexterity saving throw at the start of its turn, or its armor will be reduced in quality by 1, and its armor value will be reduced by 1 as well.
Would I be able to use Shield Master on that save?
Yes, it is a sight-based thing.
I don't use armor.
I do.
Let me make that a more inky color than instead of bright yellow.
Well, it's already like
You're right.
gray on gray.
Well, we want more gray.
Yeah, there is a lot of gray in there.
It's a big gray area.
What we want. Okay, so that was on the bottom of 20. That's a lair action, so it'll go to Uther.
And I saw Silas hit it, but it took no damage.
You saw him slam into it. It didn't look like it affected it. Slam into it again. Look at its hammer, kind of pulling it back, and you can see like parts of the hammer sloughing off, and he just tosses the hammer aside, looking like he's probably going for one of his other weapons.
Well, shit.
Get the OP pan out here.
"100% inspiration for this, correct?" Thank you, Chody. Yeah, you called me on my bullshit. If I could do a sound Tim Curry voice, it would be happening right now.
Yeah.
This is the third time that clip's
I'm
come
gonna
up.
move I'm gonna draw a cold iron arrow.
Okay.
Ooh. Wait, I keep getting cold iron confused with something. Is it dark iron? Anyway.
Cold iron, red iron are the only two that I kind of.
I'm actually drawing 3 of them.
Okay. Your first attack is a hit. Is your bow magical?
The arrows are.
The arrows are. Okay, perfect. Then they will do true damage.
These are +2 each.
Okay, so then we're looking at 10 from the first one. We're looking at 9 from the second one. And we're looking at 12 from the last one. And then we've already got the Hail of Thorns damage
Oh, is it on there? Sorry.
It's
Okay.
at the top there.
Skip that then. It's the same number.
Um,
And then +1 for favoring it.
15. And 1 for favor. Okay. So arrow, loosing it. You kind of slam into it, and as you watch, you see these small kind of detonations. The arrows are gone; they're not recoverable. But you do see that they kind of detonate it and cause a bunch of the ichor to fly off to the side. The ichor that's coming out of it doesn't share the same kind of darkness that the creature has. It has more kind of like a faint purplish color as it kind of splatters onto the ground. Its ire kind of changes its focus, and it seems like its whole form starts to kind of lean towards Uther. Not moving that far yet, but it does seem like it's going to do that on its turn.
That was 51 total. That's the number you got, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're down into the 150s, sir.
Boys, I'm out of magic arrows.
That was my trick. Sanat, the evoker. The creature that lays before you is definitely very powerful magically. I don't know if I needed to say that out loud. I figured that was granted.
How far away am I from the?
So if you go to the top left, you have a set of tools, and yeah, you can pull out the.
You're about
rule-
60 feet away.
The ruler will let you kind of measure. 60
Okay.
feet is exactly right.
So
You can always move before casting and then move again
Ah.
after casting.
I can reach it from here.
No need to get
Okay.
close. No need-
Whatever.
There's absolutely no reason for that.
Fasten me.
Oh,
Would
go ahead.
so like I guess my thing. So I'm gonna cast lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And it's
Big enough
like,
that you can shoot over top the others. You're actually
well, I can create pockets of safety for them anyway.
even better. But the point is this creature is about 40 feet tall, and you are standing on a point where you're actually 30 feet above Ezekiel and Silas. So you're actually shooting the top half of it, and they're kind of fighting the lower portion.
Okay.
Did you roll a dex save with that thing against my hail of thorns?
I did. I failed it.
Okay,
That's why I
to make sure. Sorry,
It has a dex of 1.
that's pretty low.
Good to know.
It has the lowest possible dex. You've definitely picked the right save to hit.
As something
So-
that can move.
No, I saw that 3 on initiative, and I was like, "Hey,
For
dex
lightning
save."
bolt, what you'll want to do is on the main page, in the middle there should be a list of like attacks. You'll just click the lightning bolt one, and it should throw the dice and the save. Save DC is 17. Let me see if I get it. Who wants to bet I don't? I got a -1 on the roll.
Hell yeah!
How do I know what slots like I have available? I know I have all of them right now, but
Sure. So on the character sheet, up in the
Top right, next to where it says core, that is highlighted in red.
should
2
say
tabs over says spells.
Core bio spells. Yep, spells. And then this should have fill, so you should have 3 third-level spells. And then you should have, yeah, you see where it says 0 out of 3? Go ahead and change that to 2 out of 3, because you cast 1. Kind of the gray bar at the top there. See that?
change it to 2.
Yeah, because you just cast 1. And then the other ones you should just go ahead and find first level and such. Also, a good countermeasure for it looks like a bad habit you're forming. Get it here is if you click the eye again, it'll shorten it back up to just the thing, so you don't have a bunch of spell templates open. And to be sure, the spells that you have, because cantrips, you don't cast all of those. You can only have 4 active at a time. Firebolt, Prestidigitation, Ray of Frost, and Shock and Grasp are the ones you currently have keyed, right? Okay, cool. So then, on the very first page in Core, if you click on that, oh, you already did. Perfect. Sweet. So 31 damage. And I take half.
By half. Damn this thing.
So as you kind of detonate the lightning across it, what you're realizing is that it seems to be resistant based on the fireball attack and the lightning throw. It seems to be resistant to spells specifically. The damage is presented by spells. Magic items seem to be doing a great job. The Hail of Thorns doesn't look like it did as much as it should have. Make sense?
Yes.
Alright. Gar is going to because that's what he do. Oh, that's 30. That's 60. He runs alongside Silas with his axes in his hand, and he's like, "Ah!" And he's very much in a mood. He doesn't have the ability to rage. It's a different thing that he does as an NPC, but that's what he's doing. Ezekiel,
Okay,
start of your
Zeke-
turn. Go ahead and make a dex save.
Plus it's a +2 shield, so that'd be +3, so 16, right?
14 with
That's my math.
AC. So yeah, you manage to kind of like deflect the ichor off of your shield. The rain that's coming down on you doesn't affect you.
I'm gonna go big.
Okay. Going big towards, right? So, Sanat, this is the first time you've seen these features, so I'm going to explain them in detail. You watch as he kind of brandishes his sword, and you see him kind of strike a rune across it. As he does so, you see him grow massive in size. You know that the runic magics of dwarves and other folk typically have these magic spell-like effects that are triggered by a rune magic. He's a rune knight. All right. So you're
Then
even at like a height of 12 feet, you're still like a third or a fourth the size of this thing as it starts to kind of loom towards you there.
yeah. So and I don't imagine I get Maleficer's bonus, right? It's not a construct. Okay, making sure. I will swing on it.
This is a good old fashioned who's 17 hits.
And then I'll action surge to hit it 2 more times.
26 hits as well. So that's and this weapon is magical, right?
Yeah, Maleficer. I think it's magical.
Okay. So and that it?
Yep, it's 4 attacks.
Cool. A lot of damage. Nothing else, right?
Yep, that's it.
It goes to its first turn and is now effectively active. It will. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Okay. After dealing damage, the weapon's condition drops 1 step. So Maleficer's condition is not an indestructible weapon. It will deal 1 less damage. So each time you hit it, it's going to reduce its damage trait by 1. So it's currently at a -4.
Okay.
And
But it doesn't drop its.
it doesn't drop its because it's magical. It doesn't drop its condition.
Gotcha. Okay.
However, once it's at a -5, it is broken.
Dang.
No matter what the weapon is. It goes to it. It will. Kind of surge inwards and then blossom outwards in this kind of burst that's very familiar to the Inklings that you saw shooting their ink spray. However, this one fills the entirety of the area that's covered by its rain. I need Silas, I need Ezekiel, and I'll need my own NPC to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. DC 17.
19, sweet.
Silas, you are blinded. And Gar is not.
Like he needs eyes.
Did not mean to click that. Sorry.
We do it all the time.
All right. So that is its action. Its turn is completed. It goes to Nyx. The other
Yep.
thing you would notice is that during that cycle, Ezekiel, it does look like it healed itself. Some of the purple ichor that was kind of splattered on the ground from the large detonations, lightning, fire, arrow shots, you see them kind of just like turn black, kind of slough back into the main form.
Gotcha.
Not a lot, but a little bit.
I missed a D8 damage on that attack from Dread Ambusher.
Okay, go ahead and throw it.
A lot of words going on.
Yeah, I get it. You definitely threw out all you had on those 3 magic.
I fucking did.
This is all I got, baby! We're going in!
Alley ho, lads.
But yeah, Nyx, you're up.
Bardic Inspiration for Ezekiel. And we're still gonna Fireball.
Okay.
Gonna move.
Let's let's see if it can make the DC 15. -3. So it will
Getting better.
half of that. Well, in the wrong direction. All right.
Good for him.
Okay. Done.
Yep.
Okay. On its initiative, you watch as, or not on its initiative, on in between Nyx and Bodhi, you watch as its form kind of drops down from the fireball detonation, then erupts outward into like a number of different strings, flying over top Ezekiel, Silas, and Gar, slamming onto the center of the Great Stair, and pulling the entirety of its form here. This movement does not provoke opportunity attacks. And just kind of slams down in front of Uther.
Yep.
Bodhi, you did a lot of damage. It doesn't know that you can't do it again.
I think I can't do that twice.
I mean, I know you can.
Uther, you cool?
You know how to shillelagh arrows? That'd be pretty cool.
No, sir.
If Rolling Rock cast Shillelagh on sticks and just, like, shot them.
Just shaved off one little bit.
That's something I want to happen now, but, like,
Counts as magic.
letting go of the Shillelagh actually causes the magic to go away. You have to take the person with
Point
it.
blank.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm already here.
Hell with it. I'm charging it up to my boy. I'm wrapping my arms over his shoulders and I'm casting Thunder Step.
Okay.
It's a Constitution save. That's first of all not great.
It's,
Everything within 10 feet, it saved. Of course it did.
It'll take half, but what you'll note is Thunder, it does not reduce the damage by half.
Oh, wish I could do that in
Reduces
another
it
way.
by all.
No, it takes the damage normally. It just is reducing.
Nah,
it by
it's
half.
just funny to say
It's just,
fuck Cody all
not
the
half.
time.
Yeah, I get that.
Where are you stepping?
What kind of space do I have with Thunder Step?
60?
60 feet.
300.
We
No,
are.
That's how far it can be heard away. That's an interesting note. It is.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Melee after you disappear. Unoccupied space I can see within range, so 90 feet.
Oh,
I'm hoping he still follows you. We're going over here, buddy.
yeah, Joseph, it didn't have that, so it would be plus one more, I think.
Actually,
Plus my proficiency bonus is what it says.
Yeah, plus 3. It'd actually be plus 2 more because you rolled a 31, plus 3 is 34, which would mean the halving would be a higher one. So minus 2 more there. Okay.
Jerry, put yourself next to me. Maybe out of that mist.
Did I also
Circle
notice
around.
that the thunder did more to him, that he didn't take reduce?
Yeah, but those of you who are casters with an observant kind of nature will note that the thunder seems to be non-resistant, or it's mechanically what I'll note is it's resistant to spell damage. It's vulnerable to thunder damage. So
So not notice.
it kind of
Nobody else.
Yeah, Nyx would. Nyx is up there.
I would
Oh,
notice.
okay.
Bodhi sure didn't.
Although
I heard the word observant. I did not think of anybody in our normal party.
based on his dumb joke
Oh.
regarding having Sanat tank, I think he's probably just reading a silly book. It's like, what would be a good pun for this? More fighting!
I'm trying really hard.
In between Bodhi,
John,
go ahead.
Joseph had a question about his focus magic.
Yeah, we just covered that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I don't pay attention.
It's okay.
You all do this.
In between Bodhi and Silas, it will act again with a legendary action.
Jeez.
I am
Chase
going
us.
to hit Ezekiel with my pseudopod. 23 to hit.
Miss.
Slam
That's
down
so
onto the
cool.
ground, this massive pseudopod, and as it kind of, you notice the ground actually starts to kind of burn. You would see that the corrosive nature of its form is kind of leaving this kind of welt in the stone. And out of character note, what you're doing to your weapons while you hit it, it's going to do to your armor when it hits you. Silas.
So even the magical weapons are getting hurt.
Yep. You're literally shoving your swords into a pool of acid.
So we can only hit it one time with each of our magic weapons.
No. You can hit it 4 times. If you hit it 5 times, it'll break it.
Okay. I'm gonna pull or reach around and try to find my
I'll take it. Yeah.
The oldest trick in the book.
Oh boy.
my
Goo!
the sword.
Okay. The Giant Slayer, you said?
Yeah, and I'm gonna
The +1 sword.
rage.
Yep.
Yeah, rage and try to swing recklessly.
Love it. So blinded, you'll have disadvantage.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, you're blindsight?
No, I'm just saying.
No,
I
he just rolled really
high.
well.
Oh.
He's
Yeah.
a motherfucker. This guy.
I will note, its armor class is 5, so I just want to make sure that that's clear.
Oh, fucking hey, we got this.
Oh, we were fighting Page Master types.
There's a lot going on here, and some of it's like, wow, that's really beneficial for us, and the other parts are like, holy shit, that's super detrimental. But sorry, apologies, you're blinded, so you'll have disadvantage on the dexterity save at the beginning of your turn. Go ahead and roll that for me. Are you wearing armor?
No.
Okay. Fine. You'll take a total of 7 acid damage from the rain.
Blind, naked, absolutely in his element.
Absolutely.
And then
Like a
those,
When
newborn
I-
baby.
Matter in hell.
those both hits, so it'll be 17 damage for the first one. The second one will do 11, minus 1 will be 10
From the weapon deteriorating.
from the weapon deteriorating, and your weapon now has a minus 2 to damage rolls.
Okay. And then do I know if the NPC guy has magical weapon?
Yeah, he definitely does.
Okay. Did I hear? I heard that Jeremy ran out.
You knew that he had 3 cool arrows. You saw him fire those 3 cool arrows, and now he's gone, and you don't know where he is to even yell at him.
Okay, so I don't know where he's at then.
Yeah,
I would yell out, questioning, "Where are you at?"
It's like Bloodsport when John Claude
Right.
Van Damme gets that shit thrown into his eyes. He's like, ah! And there's like a flashback for no reason. What the fuck is happening?
But yeah, so I would yell for my free action.
Yep.
And I'd reach into my pocket and start trying to find something for him.
Okay. Silas done. At the end of 20, it's going to use a legendary action. The rain persists. However, it's going to increase the downpour for this turn and this turn alone, meaning that it's going to be more corrosive if you are in it. So Silas done, Laracton done, Uther, you are just outside of the range. You do not have more than half of your token.
I was trying to pull him out of it. He
Nailed
put
it.
himself.
Yeah, sorry.
He put himself on the line.
I forgot
nailed
the
it.
circle existed and set myself right on top of there.
Despite his efforts to fall back into it, he is just outside. So
Good answer. Good answer.
your turn starts as your pleasure.
Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I'm back here, Silas.
Can I throw something to him, or do I have to wait for my turn?
You can't see him. You can't see him.
Well, he said he just said I'm back here though.
Yeah.
He's just gonna throw a damn magic sword at Bodhi.
No, you
No,
don't, you don't know where he is enough to throw.
Impales Bodhi.
Even in the direction?
You don't have an action to throw. It's an action to throw.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
So Uther.
Yeah, fuck it.
Hail Thorns again. Okay.
And regular arrows, if I can find the button.
Yeah. Those all hit. Fun story. I just rolled a 20, which means that I got a 13. Or no, just got 20.
Yeah,
Just
15.
15 on my brain cell.
So he succeeded on the dex
He
save.
succeeded on the dex. So he will take half on the hail and then half again because it's magic. Both attacks hit, which means he will take
3.
Are these magical arrows?
No, 3 for the thorns, sorry.
Okay, then he takes no damage from the arrows.
So a total of 10.
He's immune to non-magical weaponry.
Got it.
But yeah, you'll see the cascade of the Hail of Thorns detonate inside of it, and it does a little bit, but not a lot. Alright, you are done?
Yeah.
So now,
Every bit helps.
at the start of your turn, dex saving throw. DC 17. Success, you take no damage and you're not affected negatively by the rain.
Just dip, dodge, and raindrops.
It's not like an actual like spray of rain.
I know.
It's like a cascade
Flashes.
of small droplets. Yeah, it's like a Dan flashes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Intricate patterns. Zap connect. Okay. And lightning.
So it was lightning, but I also have the Grimoire, Arcane Grimoire +2, so that and my other spell should have actually done 2 more damage.
No, the Grimoire doesn't add damage. It adds to your attack rolls and your spell save DCs.
You're better at hitting with spells. They don't do more damage.
Oh, okay, I must have read that wrong.
No worries. The Grimoire also has another function besides, which is super beneficial. You can use it as your spellbook if you want, and if you do so, even if you don't do so, whenever you use Arcane Recovery, you would increase the number of spell slots you would regain. But yeah, it doesn't add to damage. It's not a worse caster's thing.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it will take 16 half will be 8. No, sorry. 16 half will be 8, half again will be 4. Because it's.
Was it half twice?
It actually. Oh no, sorry. That was the like. Never mind. That was the Hail of Thorns. That was the Hail of Thorns. Plus 4 more. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. Sanat, you watch. Nix, you watch as Sanat fires a lightning line at it. It hits and tethers to the center of it. There's like a connection between the two.
Huh.
Of pure lightning. Gar turns around, yells again in an angry way, and swings both his axes. Hold on a second here. Why is that not rolling? Stop it. Get some help. Bam! He is reckless, so he's going to crit on that one. This isn't rolling out in the open, is it?
No.
It's an NPC. Why is this?
Just play by
Also,
play.
I thought he didn't rage.
He doesn't. He has reckless,
Okay.
and he has other features that are rage-like.
Rage adjacent.
Rage adjacent. So he is going to deal 15 and 7. And that's with 2 different axes, so both of them are taking a point on them. Alright, Gar, between Gar and Ezekiel, it'll use its last legendary action to swing at Ezekiel with its pseudopod. 26!
Yep.
26 bludgeoning damage and 14 acid damage, and your armor, it's not adamantine, right?
No.
It is magical though?
Yep.
-1 penalty to its AC. If that AC is reduced to a point where it's 10 plus dex modifier, armor's broken.
Gotcha.
Is the stuff not actually melting magic weapons? It's just
It's causing the magic to disintegrate is what that
Okay.
effect is. If you attack it with a non-magical weapon and hit it, and for whatever reason you're doing that, or a weapon that's being affected by a spell, it will cause the condition of the weapon to drop, and will also add the cumulative penalty to damage rolls. If either gets to the point where it would be broken, it breaks.
okay. Magic weapons just take a -1 to hit on every, or -1 to damage.
-1 to damage rolls, yep.
Okay.
How much damage was it taking again?
26 bludgeoning and 14 acid.
Ouch.
Yep. So you cheer up.
Yep. I'm going to bonus action second wind. It's awful.
Not great. Not great.
Then, I mean, I can't hit it, so I have to take
You can
the
step-
dodge
You
action.
can step here.
Yeah, but if I do, Malthus will be broken.
Oh, you can switch weapons.
I don't have any other weapons.
Damn.
Unless I have, like, I can pull the adamantite shield and kind of hit it with it.
If you shoot me with a book. Okay, so Ezekiel taking the dodge action. Alright?
Yep.
it'll go to its initiative. And I will use a bonus action to activate my Aura of Destruction. Until the end of my next turn, all creatures within my aura have vulnerability to bludgeoning damage. I will then use a move action to go up the stairs. Since this is not done as a legendary action, I do provoke opportunity attacks. I will not provoke an opportunity attack from Silas because he's blind. I will provoke an opportunity from Gar, who will take it. Hit, and it'll be 10 damage. Alright. It moves up towards the mages.
Oh shit!
And
This is next.
I am definitely getting hit the hardest by the Eladrin, so I'm going to go ahead and try and hit him. Hit them. Let's see. 16. What's your armor class with mage armor?
It's 13. What does mage armor add?
Plus
13 plus your dex.
Yeah, so if your deck modifier is +3, which I believe it is, that means your AC is currently at 16, which means I hit. Do you have any reactions you'd like to use?
+1 for the soup.
No, that.
This is not a spell attack. This is
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
one. Do you have any reactions you'd like to take?
Does the cloak of protection not help with that?
Oh, you have a cloak of protection. Oh,
You
your dex-
rascal.
Sorry, your dex is lower than I thought. So your dex is +2. Cloak of protection is +1, so 13. And then your base armor would be 13. So it'd be 13 +2 +1. So 16 is still the result we're coming to. However, do you have a spell called Shield? First level spell?
I thought I did.
Let's
Hold
check
on.
and see. We'll go to spells and scroll it all down. It does not look like you have Shield as a spell, which is sad, because that means you're going to be taking all of this damage. So because you are currently vulnerable to it, the bludgeoning damage will be a total of 31, and the acid damage will be 8.
You survive that?
Nope.
Down
Okay.
to 0, or did I? I don't think. Yeah, your hit points are
Negative
38 max. It looks like.
Yeah, he's like a level 6.
Yeah, I
He's
was
gonna
about
be
to say,
fine.
I didn't kill you outright. Okay. Cool.
It's not gonna kill him outright. He's just down.
Now, you're not wearing armor at current. However, this is an interesting interaction. You are wearing magical armor. Technically not a concentration spell, and not even your concentration spell. Anyways, because it dealt damage to you with its pseudopod, mage armor is canceled.
Yikes.
That is its action and its attack. You are currently dying. And it is done. It'll go to Nyx. New friend just got smashed and definitely served as your shield. You made a joke about it, and then it actually happened. How do you feel about that, Andy? Way to welcome a new player into the game, huh?
Question.
Yeah.
Can I activate my stone rune on it?
Oh, great. Yeah, what does it do?
Is it immune to being charmed?
It is.
Then I activate it and nothing happens.
It's immune to
Good try, good try.
It's immune to a shit ton of conditions. This guy's an asshole.
I mean, it's a blob of ink.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sanat is just getting punished for being very effective. I'm so sorry.
How's that plug looking? By
Nyx
the way?
is just
it
not
dropping?
nearly as effective
It's
as
still
you.
down. It's still down. It hasn't fallen. It hasn't
all the
been
way
moved up.
down.
It's all the way down.
Nice.
This is like the
He's
death,
got nowhere to run.
This is the death throes of the ink. That is 100% correct. So, Nyx, you have allied at your feet, currently
I know, right?
not living, and you are a bard.
I'm a bard.
Plays a sick riff of a
Begins
corpse.
writing a
I
eulogy.
know.
Sorry, apologies. Silas, you are no longer blind. At the end of its turn is when the blinding goes away. It
Just
lasts until
trying to think about this. Trying.
Which turn?
Oh, then I should
It's-
have gotten
it's-
to.
Like this current one?
its turn, the one that it moved away from you.
Okay.
At the end of that turn.
Because I was blinded 2 turns.
Right, correct.
Until the end of its next turn.
Right.
Oh,
Because it
okay.
hit you with
That's
a
a- that's a-
it hit you
that's
with
a real
legendary
common way.
action With that. Or it hit you with the ink spray on its turn during its next turn.
All right, we're gonna try a thing, and we're gonna see what happens. I don't think healing him outright at this point is the best option. You just get pounded again. So we're gonna try something. We're gonna cast Greater Invisibility,
Okay.
and on myself and on Sanat.
Can I pause you for a second? I just want to
Yeah,
make sure that
sure.
everybody has a chance to tell you you're not being smart in this endeavor.
Okay.
Go ahead, Zach. It looked like you were about to.
Can
say
I
something.
see Sanat past the slime or no?
I would say no, but I do want to make sure like we understand how the creatures are seeing and how they've been foretold to see before you finish casting them.
They have blind sight.
All
They
right.
can
all
see
right.
you
They
no
have
matter
blind
what.
sight. Okay. Well then,
They
sorry
do not
about
care
that.
about you being invisible.
All right. So if you let me take that back, I certainly
am going
will.
to be nice
Take it back.
because there's a new player who is currently like.
Going to die because of
Going
I
to
you.
die
got,
because-
I got
Yeah,
your feet.
So Sanat, do you still have the Bardic Inspiration?
He can't talk because he's dead.
Fuck. Joe, do you still have the Bardic Inspiration?
Joe is also dead.
He's not also dead.
No, I'm kidding.
Look
You
at
can
Joe.
talk. You can talk. I'm
So
not.
dead.
I mean, yeah, yes. I think
Great. Excellent. So then what we'll do is we're
I
just
haven't
gonna
Pump
do
the
this.
heels.
Yeah, we're gonna pump the heals. Okay. Yeah, I wish I could do something fancier, but I don't think it's the best idea. Okay, so we'll do 16 heal.
And then they rolled Bardic, right, for that one trait. Is that you or is that somebody else? I get my bards
What do you-
mixed up. There's too many damn bards in these games.
No, I don't think I have any such
Your
trait.
eloquence, right?
Yeah. What is the
Okay.
trait?
Never mind. It's another one. It's the one that Joe character, Joe's character. He gets
Right.
Bardic inspiration added to the heals.
Okay. Am I out of? Does it have reach on me?
It does seem to have a pretty high reach, yeah.
So if I move, that would be in it. I would still be in his threat range.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Okay. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Oh, quick note, Joseph, it looks like you're trying to get the descriptions. If you're doing it on another player's spells, it won't show you. If you do it on your spells, it'll show you.
Yeah.
I don't know why. For me, I can do it to anybody because I'm awesome. But yeah, if you want the description, just ask the
So
person.
does that mean he healed me for 6 hit
Yeah,
points?
it's actually
16. 16.
because he cast it at high
So-
level.
10 higher level cast plus the 6 from the initial cast.
And
you're at 16
0
points.
plus 16.
Also that.
Right. And I'm just gonna cower and sort of put my little bug body over top of Sanat to try to shield him.
Oh, and a quick note: there are no negatives. So if I hit you and I do like 48 damage to you, I don't reduce you to negative 10. I reduce you to 0 in 5th edition. So you'll be at 16 at that heal. Cool. Nick's done. Right? Andy?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Bodhi, you're up. And I know it's 7, but I just need someone to do like one more hit to it so I can do the epic finale.
Sounds like a job for Bodhi. I absolutely can't see them, so I'm just gonna try to get the damn thing's attention. I'm marching up, and we're throwing some Eldritch Blasts.
Is there any way you can take me with you?
No, sir.
Those will both hit. So as you cast
Damn.
it, the force bolts into it, you hit them dead center, and you watch as the thing bursts outwards. As it does, you do see that there's actually a physical object kind of floating in the center there for a second. And as this middle bit of ichor splashes out to the sides, you watch as the entirety of the ink creature starts to radiate bright light, as if it were glowing with radiance. And in the center, you see this core kind of floating now, encircled by the ink. The creature appears to die for a second, but then appears to be restored. And you now fight the second half of the creature in its god-blooded station. And that's where we'll pick up next session. Thanks for watching those that did, and we'll deal with the second half of this boss fight then. Thank you.